For the best sports in Lorain, that's TV 20, Lorain City Schools Television.
And welcome to 8th grade girls volleyball. It's General Johnnie Wilson on the right-hand side, and on the left-hand side of your screen, Longfellow, 8th grade girls, and Longfellow takes a 1-0 lead as the 8th graders of General Johnnie Wilson are coached by Lindsay Wright, 2nd grade teacher at Tony Morrison. Christine Brewster, 6th grade math teacher at Longfellow, is the head coach of Longfellow, and Longfellow leads 2-0 as we're just underway in game 1. You play 2 games out of 3, best of to 25, and for Longfellow it'll be Linnea Smith serving. Linnea and her team up 2-0. Good line drive serve, 3-0 Longfellow.
Yeah, as we saw in the first game, or the first matchup, serving very critical at the middle school level.
And it will be Linnea Smith again to serve. And from the back row, sending it over. Well done, and let's see, on the third hit, Smith is able to put it over for Longfellow. Now it's back to the Longfellow side from the back row. Smith will send it over and finds the hole in the defense, and it's 4-0. I think you're going to see a little longer rallies, Joe, at this level than we saw at 7th grade. At the talent level just gets a little bit better the older you get.
Yep, passes a little bit crisper.
Right, and you're able to return the serves a little bit better.
Yep.
And there's 3 hits there, unable to get it over on the third hit. Longfellow leads 5-0. So Linnea Smith doing a good job of serving for her team. Longfellow serving on the left, General Johnnie Wilson receiving on the right. And that time it'll go into the net, and that gives General Johnnie Wilson their first point of the match. They trail 5-1. Serving for the 8th graders of General Johnnie Wilson will be Janae Harvey. Harvey, good deep underhand serve. Sent back over to the Longfellow side from the back row. That is Jayla King, and it's hit out of bounds. Longfellow gets the point, 6-1. And now serving will be Amira Yabera. So Amira Abera will serve it, and that is sent out of bounds. It is 7-1. Longfellow up 7-1 serving. And from the right side of the front row, getting that one was Ariana Hughes, but she hit it out of play, and it's 8-1. And substitution coming out will be Ariana Hughes, and going in is Avea Harrison for the 8th graders of General Johnnie Wilson as they trail 8-1. Abira, and we're going to get a point awarded to General Johnnie Wilson as Longfellow had a foul before the serve, and that cuts it to 8-2. So serving will be Harrison. Avea Harrison, her team down 8-2. Nice serve by Harrison. That's sent by Linnea Smith. And on the third hit, hitting it over that time is Aaliyah Arkle. And she will get the point for her team. It's now 9-2. And we have a timeout called by Lindsay Wright and General Johnnie Wilson as they're off to a slow start here, Joe, trailing 9-2. So while we've got a minute, I want to let you know about how to help us get to 10,000 followers on Lorain City Schools TV 20. As now we're at 9,500 followers, and it's a drive to 10,000 followers. You can follow and like TV 20. TV 20 is home of the best high school sports coverage in Northeast Ohio. Media of most high school district events, award-winning Titan News. And again, please follow us and like us, TV 20. And we have 9,500 followers now on social media.
Yeah, we got the media production students out in force getting pictures. Those are all posted on TV20's Facebook page, so give us a follow and a like.
All right. And that serve will go into the net as...
strategy work there.
Yep. And it makes it 8-3, 9-3. 9-3. Longfellow leads. And for General Johnnie Wilson, serving as Arjelyn Smith.
She hit it up into the
okay, so Longfellow gets
gym
the
divider.
point, as I was looking for her name on my roster. Makes it 10-3. Thank you, Joe. Joe knows me long enough by now that if I don't say something, I'm down here looking at the roster. And Arkle with a miss hit on her serve, and it's 10-4. Myasia Cheers serving, her team down 10-4 in game one. Myasia with a tremendous serve, very deep and dug out beautifully, but hit out of bounds by Dasani Smalls.
Great
but
attempt.
Dasani had a, you're right, Joe. She dove, got to it, but just hit it out of bounds. So Myasia Cheers, another serve that goes over the net, but that is wide, so it's a point for Longfellow. They lead 11-5. We're in game one of our 8th grade match between Longfellow and General Johnnie Wilson. Longfellow's on the left, they're serving. General Johnnie Wilson serve receive on the right-hand side. And serving for Longfellow is Dasani Smalls. And the point will go to General Johnnie Wilson. Just in the back corner, it makes it 11-6. You know, it's funny, Joe, you look at the dimensions of a volleyball court. You've got 6 girls on each side. It doesn't look like there's a lot of room, and yet you can still find holes in the on the floor.
Time.
And serving, it's Arkle who wasn't able to send it over off a nice serve by Lonnie Williams. Lonnie makes it 11-7. Williams, her team down by 4. Overhand serve. Well done, dug out there by Lania Smith. And the point will go to General Johnnie Wilson. It's 11-8.
No, he called it hit the top. Yeah, okay. It actually didn't. It was really close, but it did not hit it.
You want to go down there and tell him?
Nah, that's okay.
11-8, General Johnnie Wilson down by 3, serving here in game one. Smith sends it back over. And it's sent over there by General Johnnie Wilson's Amaya Harrison. And the point goes to General Johnnie Wilson. They've cut it to 2, 11-9, so 4 consecutive points for General Johnnie Wilson. And a timeout, as Joe mentions, for Longfellow. So each team has taken a timeout. They have 1 remaining. General Johnnie Wilson took their timeout when they were trailing 9-2. Since then, they have outscored Longfellow 7-2 to cut it to 11-9. And
so I'd say that timeout was pretty successful for them.
Coach Brewster talking with her 8th graders from Longfellow, and Coach Lindsay Wright chatting with the 8th graders from General Johnnie Wilson.
That's how we're looking at right now, looking into the huddle.
And Joe, you and I are kind of been going down memory lane a little bit. We did it in the 7th grade match and continue to do some. And, you know, I think back to, I can't remember when you first asked me to help you, but, you know, I remember Ron Bacalar, and I just think of some of the different people you've had.
Yeah.
And boy, I tell you, I like, you let me work with him a couple times, and to me, boy, he did a great job for you guys, and just the way he was able to do it, I thought he was really, really good. And I'm sure you've had a cast of characters over the years, but yeah, I don't know why Ron popped into my head when I knew that you and I were kind of winding things down. He just popped into my head the other day.
Well, him and Bob Quinlan kind of started the whole TV20 sports on TV out, and yeah, he was a great mentor and a big help early on when we had some challenges, and he wasn't afraid to take on some new technologies, which I always try to throw on to everybody.
12-11, Longfellow gets the lead by 1 after General Johnnie Wilson came all the way back to tie it at 11. They had 6 consecutive points, and now going to serve will be Jayla King.
Of course, Ron Baclar, retired English teacher from Admiral King.
Boy, Jayla King with an excellent line drive serve. 13-11. This is our first time to see Jayla King serve.
Yeah.
And I think we can see.
I was watching her in warm-ups, and I'm like, wow.
Deep serve, and there's going to be another point. As unable to pass that ahead was Lonnie Williams, 14-11. How long was Ron part of TV 20? Do you know that by chance? I mean, several years?
Yeah, so the sports didn't get started until really the late 90s.
Okay. Ace makes it 15-11.
He did other shows. There was Focus. So he actually really started the sports a lot more, once he retired. But he did a lot of stuff in the early 90s.
16-11, another ace. Tremendous serving right now by 8th grader Jayla King. She wears number 21 on her Longfellow jersey. They're the away team as we're at General Johnnie Wilson, and Jayla King just outstanding here with these serves. Again with a line drive serve, and that's sent out of bounds. Trying to pass that ahead was Myasia Cheers. Good job of getting to it, but unable to get it to a teammate.
Now, no, Lorain was the second oldest school access channel in the state of Ohio. They started in 1985. There was a school in Dayton that had one before that, but early on, TV 20's been around for a long time.
18-11. So, but they didn't do sports for the first part of it?
No, not so much. They would do some. They would tap into radio. We have some really old stuff that.
There's an ace.
Your partner, Tim Alcorn, cringes when I find him from the archives, circa 1980s. But yeah, they didn't really do it, have a lot of sports on that was originally produced.
Jayla King again serving, and this time she'll put it into the net. But what a run by Jayla King. And her team now leads 19-12 as they have outscored General Johnnie Wilson 8-1. Jayla served 8 consecutive points after we were tied at 11. And going back to serve is Jazzaray Danks. Jazzaray done well. King digs it out. And on the third hit, King's able to send it over, and that's inbounds. Point for Longfellow. They lead 20-12.
We had Barry Buck. Barry Buck was, he did a lot of, you remember Barry, Buckster.
Oh, yeah. Longfellow up 20-12. That's sent left side of the front row. Arkle sends it over, but out of bounds, 2013. Point to General Johnnie Wilson. Oh, yeah, you got to laugh at Barry.
At John Nesbitt. He was a coach that did some stuff early on in my tenure here at TV 20.
Serving will be Janae Harvey. So I'm just kind of throwing some questions. I had observations and I didn't even think of this until we just literally got on the air and started doing it. But was there anybody you ever wanted to have help you out that, for whatever reason either didn't want to or you weren't able to get on? Or was there somebody over the years that you thought, man, they'd be good at helping us? And it just didn't. I know obviously you've had guys from EOL, OBL, you've had your own teachers and so forth. But, Joe Tate did a lot to help you out, I know.
He did, yeah. He did some promos that we're still using to this day. He did some liners for me for the best sports in Lorain. That's TV 20, Lorain City School. No, I still use those liners. I'll probably use one for this game because, they're so good.
Joe, of all the Joe Tate imitators and imitations I've ever heard, that may have been the worst.
That's why I'm not in radio. That's why I'm behind the camera.
That's why you're not Rich Little.
Yeah, there you go.
That's funny. Trinity Barth serving, and that will go to General Johnnie Wilson. It's 22-15. Longfellow 3 points away. General Johnnie Wilson serving, and down 22-15. They need to make a run here if they're going to get back into it. And serving is Shania Donald to the back row, and that might be 2 points for a basket, but no, it's sent over by Longfellow as it went off the basket support. And Jayla King sends it back. And that's going to be a point for Longfellow, and what a job they did there.
Wow.
They lead 23-15.
Yeah, the rule is if it hits any of the structure above the ceiling, and as long as it lands on your side, you can play it.
Okay.
And so that's what happened there. It was rattling around the rim up there for a few seconds.
Aaliyah Arkle to serve. 2 points from game one. And now they're 1 point from game one. We're at game point, 24-15. Longfellow over General Johnnie Wilson. Arkle to serve for game one. And unable to get that over. So it's 24-16, still game point. General Johnnie Wilson serving. And good line drive serve that's sent back to the General Johnnie Wilson side. And that's the game as they hit it into the net. And Longfellow wins game one, 25-16. So game one goes to the 8th graders from Longfellow, the visiting team. And we will have game two after we take this time out. When you come back, it's game two of 8th grade girls volleyball. Longfellow and General Johnnie Wilson. Longfellow, when you come back, will go for a 2-game sweep. General Johnnie Wilson will try to send it to a third and deciding game. That's coming up next. You're watching 8th grade girls volleyball on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television.
Hey students, this is the Cleveland Browns linebacker Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Make sure you start off school this year on the right foot by showing up every day on time and ready to learn. Let's stay committed, let's stay focused, and let's stay in the game.
We make Marines who overpower the desire to quit with the perseverance to prevail. Not for glory, but for honor. For a code that isn't written or spoken, but lived. It's what we do. It's who we are. It's the battle cry of our fighting spirit. Battles won. See all the battles Marines fight to win at marines.com.
Game two, 8th grade volleyball as Longfellow serves to General Johnnie Wilson. Longfellow won game one by a score of 25-16. And they start out here with the first point of game two, and it's Lania Smith serving. She did a great job serving in game one. Her team leads 1-0. Smith again. And from the left side of the front row, unable to get it over the net was India Davis. 2-0 Longfellow. Longfellow's 7th graders won in 2 games, 25-21, 25-23. And the Longfellow 8th graders are going to try to do the same, win in 2 games. And from the right side of the front row, they're unable to get it over the net, or they do get it over the net. Okay, it's 3-0. I thought that landed on the Longfellow side. I'm wrong. 3-0 Longfellow. Lania Smith. Another good serve, 4-0, as from the back row trying to come up and make a play was Avea Harrison.
If you're in middle school and can serve overhand, you're so much ahead of the game.
Right.
And she does it very well, too.
And the other thing, Joe,
wow.
She goes deep, she'll go short, she goes wide, she goes all over the
drive,
place.
hot, yeah.
5-0. We've got a timeout here as General Johnnie Wilson wants to talk it over here in game two early on. Well, Joe, I've been asking you questions left and right. Anything you know, maybe I should let you do some questions instead of, I'm not Mike Wallace from 60 Minutes, But, I can keep
I think it would
going down memory lane. So let me ask you this. I never got to do you know, when you would have the different, you mentioned Ron Bachelor, I believe, with the talk shows that you guys did and all those different kinds of things. I didn't do any of those, so I'm not very familiar with them, but was there a person that was interviewed over the years that you thought was really good that maybe stands out?
Oh, well, we did Joe Tate a lot. He was always entertaining. Oh my gosh, give you the inside of some of the NBA, and he was quite candid and frank about some things too.
Linnea Smith made it 6-0. Well, I think he probably knew that the Cavs weren't going to be watching what he had to say.
Yeah, it was very popular.
Or maybe at a point in his career, he didn't care if the Cavs heard what he had to say. Probably a little bit of both.
Oh, yeah.
Smith again with a good deep serve, and that's going to be 7-0. As unable to pass that ahead was Jazzaray Danks.
Yeah, Ron had some really good guests too, community people. I tell you, you know what? One of the more satisfying.
Serve goes in the net, 7-1.
How can I say this without being too? Okay, there was a year, and you either loved him or hate him, and 53% of the people in Lorain loved him. So he was mayor for a while, and that was Fulton. And
Davis hits it into the net. It's 8-1.
There was always budget problems in Lorain, and the council basically said, we don't have funds. You don't have funds to open the pools. So he called me up and said, hey, would you help promote a program for a fundraiser for the pools?
Very cool.
And I said yes. Ron did the show. And so I was producer. I could do whatever I wanted. It was kind of cool. So I go, hey, you guys jump into the bottom of the pool that needs painted and is cracked and there's no water in it, and we'll ask questions and stuff from there. And so we had an initiative along with the mayor, and they raised like over $50,000, and they opened the pool. And you know, that was a show. I'm not saying the show, you know.
Well, it showed you the power and the strength of TV 20 that people watched, and they were cared about the community, and to help get that word out, got those pools open.
$500 here, $1,000 here,
yep.
$25 here. We added it all up, and we were able to open the pool. So that was one of the more satisfying and fun programs that we did, and that was called Focus.
Janae Harvey serving for the 8th graders of General Johnnie Wilson, sent over by Aaliyah Arkle for Longfellow, but the point will go to General Johnnie Wilson, and it's 9-3. The Longfellow lead is cut to 6.
Yeah, you know.
Joe, did anybody surprise you? Whether maybe you thought, well, you know, it went a lot better than you thought? I mean, did you ever have any surprises that way where maybe a subject or somebody you weren't so sure about and you really ended up having a good show out of it? Arkle sends it over, and Arkle unable to send it over a second time. Back-to-back points for General Johnnie Wilson makes it 9-4. They've got 3 consecutive points after being down 9-1. It's Janae Harvey serving for General Johnnie Wilson, her team down 5.
Think about that one here.
Game 2, 1-0 Longfellow with the lead. From the back row, sending it over the net and getting the point for her team. That is going to be Jayla King, 10-4. One thing I thought was funny, you had us last year or a couple years ago do a softball tournament game. And what's the field over there on the other side of George Daniel? Is that Oakwood, or I don't remember, but I think that's where it was, or maybe a couple streets away.
Central Park.
Okay, Joe, it was a muddy day. And you were like on top of a ladder. Shoot, I still have that picture on my phone.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, with you like on top of a ladder. Like, what in the world is this guy doing? What won't he do to get something on?
Well, you know, yeah, I kind of forgot about those. We've done soccer games, baseball games, football games.
India Davis serving for General Johnnie Wilson. She gets the point. It's 11-6. Longfellow leads by 5.
Yeah, for the middle school level sports. Yeah, and a lot of them were held at the park. So, yeah, I get a ladder, and I would run the camera and provide the color commentary. India
Davis with an ace makes it 11-7. Well, you know, you mentioned that you guys, and of course you didn't take full credit for it, but mentioning that as we have the timeout here for Longfellow. They're up 11-7, but you mentioned that through the work of TV20, you were able to get the pools opened that year several summers ago. And here we are doing middle school volleyball. You know, somebody brought this to my attention. I had never thought about it before. And, you know, when I said some of the different things that you do and that you've had us do over the years and talk about the middle school sports, and this person brought to my attention, he said, you know, I bet there are kids that come out and stay out for sports because of the exposure that TV20 has given and the encouragement for those young people to want to come out and play.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever thought of that.
Yeah.
Where I'm just saying in other communities they don't have that, Joe.
Oh, I know.
And actually the person that brought that up when I was he was asking my schedule and everything, and I was telling him what I was doing, it was my dad. And living in Norwalk, and he was like, you know, I was telling him what we were all doing, and he was like, you know, I bet those kids love it, and maybe that's part of the reason. And I had never thought about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's right or not. I don't know if you've ever thought about it.
Now,
Dasani Smalls with the point makes it 12-7 Longfellow.
He didn't happen to catch anything on our YouTube channel.
My father?
No,
he wouldn't know YouTube from. He's 3, 5, or 8 with rabbit ears.
Yeah.
No, he's aware of it, and he knows what we do. There's a shot that goes along. It's 13-7. But, no, he's rabbit ears 3, 5, and 8.
5 and 8. Oh, I understand it, yeah.
Serving will be Aaliyah Arkle. Arkle will send it deep into the corner, and that's dug out there by Janae Harvey. And the point for Longfellow, and Joe Longfellow just doubled them up here in game 2, 14-7. And General Johnnie Wilson, they've got going to have to come from behind here.
Dominant performance today. Yeah, I had one of the moms of one of the kids that I know said I was jinxing them because they were good. Said they've been playing good all season and they lost. Well, that was the 7th grade. I'm like
15-7.
So I don't know what to tell you.
All right, so I guess one other one. We're talking different things. What are you going to miss the most? If you're allowed to say. Arkle will get the shot, goes out of bounds. I mean, I think everybody, when they retire, they kind of say they're going to miss the people they worked with, but you'll still see people. But
yeah.
I would imagine there's part of the job that you're going to miss.
Oh yeah, my wife Cheryl was asking me about that as well. Boy, there's a lot of aspects of it. Just the excitement of especially live television or this is delayed a game. We tried to do live here, and we just ran into technical issues, but
Shania Donald serving, but the violation against General Johnnie Wilson.
I'll be honest, Rob. I haven't said it is very nice to be and it truly is a big fish in a little pond. This is, outside of Lorain, maybe Lorain County. Yeah, nobody knows much, but just to provide Lorain, the students, the parents, and I'll share with you. I had.
Dasani Smalls serving, 17-8 Longfellow.
I had somebody, and I shared it with our announcer, and he read it on the air, but during the football game Friday, we had one of our former students, he said, "Great game watching you from my deployment in Korea."
How cool is that?
So that is just really cool. So, yeah.
Serving for General Johnnie Wilson, it is Amaya Harrison. And that point, as there was a violation on the defense of Longfellow before the serve, 17-10. General Johnnie Wilson got to come from behind here. They lost game 1, 25-16. They trail 17-10 in game 2. Harrison trying to serve her team back into this match. Harrison sends it over, but that's going to be wide out of bounds. It's 18-10.
Tell you, one of my, I'm so, I don't want to say greatest accomplishments, but I'm so glad that I was able to do it, and it wouldn't have happened if it wouldn't have been for COVID.
Jayla King with a line drive serve, sends it back over, and that is dug out by Linnea Smith. Boy, a nice rally here, one of the longest of the match, and Longfellow leads 19-10.
Yeah, anyway, so TV20 is an event. We record events and broadcast them live or tape delayed. During COVID, there was no events. And
Line drive serve, 20-10. Jayla King, an excellent job serving once again.
now the school lent me out to the city, and I did their council meetings because they had to meet certain requirements. And so I did their meetings live until they were able to get equipment in.
King with another line drive serve, 21-10.
And after that short period of time, it was a couple months,
Second timeout for General Johnny Wilson. Gives you time to keep going with the story. They must have known you were storytelling.
so what can I do? And, and I ran past, at the time he was my boss, athletic director Brian Corey. I says, hey, there's nothing to do. Do you care? And they were telling people not to come in. We were teaching from home. It was, everybody remembers those times. And I says, hey, I got a little studio at home. How about if I bring tapes home and I'll just start converting them? And he's like, hey, great idea. And Brian was an awesome boss. He kind of gave me a free rein, and hopefully I didn't disappoint anybody. But so during the time I was able to convert every Lorain graduation's commencement we had tons of them, and they were just sitting in a box.
Like VHS tapes you're talking
Old
about?
VHS so every one for the city of Lorain.
King serving, line drive off the net, good, 22-10.
From 1985 on is archived forever to be kept, and people got a great response from it. In addition to that, we did old concerts, games, all kind of stuff. So I'm so glad that a lot of the stuff, and I hope it continues, because there's a ton more, gets archived.
King sends that one long and out of bounds. It's 22-11. General Johnny Wilson will serve here, down 11, serving as Lonnie Williams. Joe, what did you save that to when it went from the VHS tapes to what? Like, how were you able to preserve that?
So originally, when originally not knowing what we're doing, we saved some of the stuff to DVD.
Okay.
But after a couple years, found out that DVDs don't last forever either, believe it or not.
From the back row, unable to put it over. Sorry about that. Is Dasani Smalls.
That's okay. So after a couple years, like in the early 2000s, we started doing stuff to digital format.
Okay.
And during COVID, it was all digital. So it would be converted from analog, color corrected, edited, cleaned up, and then transferred over to digital, which was then uploaded to our YouTube channel.
General Johnny Wilson, 4 consecutive points have cut it from 22-10 to 22-14. That serve just off the top of the net, wouldn't go over, and Longfellow was 2 points away from the match. Anything you weren't able to do that you wanted to do during your career?
No.
That you can say?
Yeah.
2 points away from the match. As it's an excellent serve by Linnea Smith, and we're at match point.
I mean, I would have, I got a good start on it, but I would have liked to get more of the tapes and the films converted. And there's some shows that I really wanted to do, and just didn't have the time.
Match point, Linnea Smith, and that is going to do it. As unable to come up with it was India Davis. Is a great effort by India Davis, but couldn't get it over the net.
Clean
and
sweep, Rob.
Longfellow wins, yes, in 2 games, 25-16 and 25-14. So the 7th graders for Longfellow won 25-21, 25-23, and in the 8th grade matches, you see them shake hands. Longfellow on the left, General Johnny Wilson on the right. Longfellow wins 25-16, 25-14.
I apologize to all the girls from Southview and from Longfellow and General Johnny Wilson as
we mixed it in. We got it in. We got in the play-by-play. I was sneaking it in, but I think viewers will enjoy getting your insight that you're able to provide. And I want to give you a open invitation. Anytime you want to, the only thing I do at the station would be the wrap-up show. There any Saturday morning, and you want to just talk for a half hour or so, you got carte blanche, whether you come in or whether we do it over the phone, set something up. I'd love to one day for like a half hour, do that. Maybe I could get EOL to do a podcast, and we could just sit and talk to you, pick your brain. I think it'd be fun.
Oh, yeah, I think it would be. Yeah. Oh, something to think about. Yeah, there's a...
Or did I pick everything right now?
No. Well, actually...
I think I got you thinking.
Well, now you got me thinking. There's like a... Yeah. You know, you're sitting here, we're talking about, you know, memories and games. And that's one of my top 5 of all times. It's my most favorite half of football was the Sandusky game where we actually come back and
right.
And Sandusky, I believe they were second in the state, and everybody kind of opened their eyes up to Lorain, and some of the things I'll say here, it doesn't matter at this point. But we got notice from the Cleveland Browns, and they started including us in their game of the week. And so we would go gangbusters. We would get people to vote. We would encourage people.
Right.
And we won. But you didn't just have to win the vote. You had to win the game. So one game, we won the vote, and we won the game. Lorain gets like $2,000. And they put us up for another one. And we made even a bigger push. And the Cleveland Browns commented to our athletic director, we've never had so many people vote. And we won that game. And then we had a third game which we lost. But anyway, the following year, it propelled the Browns to say, hey, this Lorain's a pretty good team, and there's a lot of challenges they have. And a year later, we got artificial turf donated by the Cleveland Browns. So
that's awesome.
So and Dave McFarland at the time,
right?
He was a finalist for high school coach of the year. They flew him to Florida. He got to do the parade and everything, and you know, it's good for him. He was State of Ohio coach of the year, and you know, and then he was a finalist and got flown to the Pro Bowl. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
All right. Well, Joe, this was entertaining today.
And I hope I didn't bore him.
No, it's all good stuff. It's just all you kept me from doing was going home to mow my lawn. I can still do that.
Oh, so. I had mine done last week, so it hasn't grown much. So I think I'm good.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for 8th grade volleyball today from General Johnnie Wilson. One more time, we want to remind you the final score. It was Longfellow winning 2-0. They defeat General Johnnie Wilson in Game 1, 25-16, and 25-14 in Game 2. For Joe Bach, this is Rob Polinsky reminding you that you've been watching middle school volleyball today on WLCS TV 20, home of Lorain City Schools Television.